Hello there, folks. My name is Spooks, and I saw DC League of Super Pets, and I didn't really like it. Now, let me first start off by saying that I honestly wasn't really looking forward to this movie. The trailers didn't really impress me, and it just looked like a typical generic kids movie, and even to some extent, just a Secret Life of Pets knockoff, but this time they have superpowers, and it features the Justice League. And going into it, I wasn't really expecting much. And I will be honest, it was a little bit better than I expected, but it was still pretty much not by much. It was still not enough to impress me to call it a generally good movie. Not terrible, but not great either, unfortunately. Let's start off with the positives. First, the animation is honestly not bad. It's not up there with like light years level of detail or the bad guys' level of stylization, but given the 90 million budget, there was clearly some effort and money put into this movie. The characters are very expressive, they move fluidly, the backgrounds of the movie, such as Metropolis, looks really nice, and the animation absolutely shines in the action scenes. This is where the most amount of effort and thought and just fun the filmmakers probably had with this movie putting these scenes together, and they are really entertaining and well put together. They're well shot, well choreographed, well put together. They're fun, exciting, and definitely the points in the movie where the film really starts to shine. This movie can also be really funny at times, not throughout the whole movie or like every joke lands, as believe me, there are some really bad stinkers in here, but whenever the movie can offer every once in a while a good joke, it really does land. Some of these one-liners, some of the slapstick, or just the banter or sight gags going on around the characters can offer a pretty good laugh from time to time. I even liked some of the characters in this movie. None of them are really annoying per se, but the ones that I like the most actually kind of surprised me due to how either funny or well developed. The two standouts for me was shockingly, Ace, the Bat Hound, voiced by Kevin Hart. Going into this, I thought it was just going to be a typical Kevin Hart character, which isn't a bad thing per se, as I actually really like Kevin Hart, but watching the movie, I was surprised to see how restrained he was, if that makes sense, as he was going for much more dramatic portrayal of the character, and it led to some of the most touching and even heartwarming scenes of the movie, and he's definitely the most developed and interesting character in the movie. The other standout being Kate McKinnon as the villainous guinea pig who is just hamming it up and having so much fun. She definitely had the most amount of laughs and was the most enjoyable character in this movie. I honestly wish this movie was just an animated Justice League, but the villain was a guinea pig. I think this movie would have been 100 times better if that was the case. Don't you think that would have made this movie like so much funnier? Maybe that's just me. And oh yeah, this is a Justice League movie. And while their designs may not be the best, and we'll get to that later, it definitely offers the best theatrically released Justice League movie we have ever seen, as they shine in this movie. They work together as a team. They can offer some good laughs, and just seeing them standing by each other one by one on the big screen did bring a smile to my face. I cannot deny. I can't believe, once again, the best Justice League movie released in theaters is the Super Pets movie, yet here we are. But unfortunately, I do have many issues with this film. The first off is that the story has way too many things to handle. It's also convoluted, and there are way too many characters to be focused on, and too much is happening all at once that it causes the story to feel very rushed at times, and we don't really get to gel or slow down. I mean, there are times where we slow down, but it's few and far between, and the reason why I bring this up is when the movie does slow down, those are honestly some of the best and most invested moments in the movie, as those moments really do shine and offer up the film's brimming potential, and how the filmmakers clearly tried with what the material they were offered with. and I wish the rest of the movie lived up to these small moments, but the film was so muddled with dealing with all of these different plot lines and arcs and characters, it doesn't really have time to do so. Another thing is that the movie is humor is very hit and miss, and when they miss, they really do miss. It is that typical family movie jokes you see with like talking animals about poop and sniffing each other and how close they are to their owners, and a lot of these jokes can fall flat, and when they fall flat they can really fall flat. I don't want to give off the impression that this movie is not that funny, because when this movie can be funny, it can actually be really funny, but it's just weighed down by a lot of the misfires with the comedy in here. I also found that a lot of the side characters in this movie weren't really that interesting and just forced comic relief. Like some of the other Super Pets, while not hateable or even annoying per se, I just questioned their importance in being in this movie. I know this is based off of like a bunch of historic like DC characters. Apparently these characters actually existed in the comics, but the way they're portrayed here didn't really leave me off with a good first impression. They just felt kind of there and were just there because they needed more characters for Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart to bounce off of, and we needed more talking animals in this Super Pets movie, and I really wish they were given a lot more to do or just made a bit more interesting or funnier. That way their purpose in the movie could seem a bit more worthy of their addition. Even the animation has some faults to it, sadly, as I do feel that the designs and the way certain scenes are rendered and make the movie look really odd. Like some of these designs of these characters look a bit weird. I understand they're trying to go for a more cartoonish approach, but they didn't really nail it the way certain other studios have, like Sony and even Warner Brothers had with film like Storks and Smallfoot, and those were outsourced to Sony. So yeah, even certain scenes with the lighting look a bit weird, as certain scenes just look way too bright. It doesn't even come off like looking like normal lighting, so, like out in the open in the day. It looks like the characters are being shined on by a really bright lamp. I don't want to be too harsh here because the animation is not the worst thing ever. It is honestly pretty good in my opinion, especially with the action scenes. It's just that it's held back by these designs. I do feel this movie would have looked better if it was 2D animation, as these characters in a 3D environment may look a tad off in certain moments in the movie, which kind of hinder the positive qualities of the animation, in my opinion. Again, it's not bad, but there are things that do hold it back from being like great. So overall, DC League of Super Pets is a pretty mediocre kids movie. There are moments where it did exceed my expectation, like with the animation, especially during the action scenes, some of the characters being likable, offering the best theatrically released Justice League movie we will ever probably see, and even some pretty funny jokes here and there, but it is held back substantially by a lot of things weighing it down, like the story, some of the side characters, humor, and even certain aspects of the animation. I don't think this is something I would say I don't recommend. If you've got nothing better to do with the kids, and say Minions is already sold out, or you've already seen it a bazillion times and you want to take your kids to something new, this isn't that bad, but you could be watching many other better things, even better theatrically released DC animated movies. Go watch the Lego Batman movie and even Teen Titans Go to the movies. I thought those were much funnier and more entertaining than this movie, as you're probably better off waiting till this gets released on HBO Max. I don't really recommend checking this out at the theater, but if you, once again, have nothing better to do, I guess you could check it out at the theater if you want to, just to get the kids out. As for me, I was pretty mixed on it, sadly. And those are my thoughts on DC League of Super Pets. What did you all think of it? If you've seen it, did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all the social media links at the end of the video. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.
He's a super dog. He's a superhero. He came to Earth from outer space, and his name is Crypto.